Greetings to all. Knowledge is the power. Information is liberating. Education is the premise of progress in every society, in every family. So welcome to the world of knowledge and education. International Internship University is the first global virtual university providing quality, skill-based, affordable, accessible, and location-independent education to all the learners across the globe. IIU has been accredited and affiliated with the World Education Organization, an international accreditation organization, and collaborated with all the world's top universities and educational institutions through the platform of MOOC, Massive Open Online Course, with the aim of promoting internship opportunities and research facilities to its learners. International Internship University is the conventional education system by cutting down the additional cost and providing access to more than 1,000 plus courses and internship to their e-learners across 195 countries and 6 continents with the team of its high caliber and experienced global educators. Piyush Pandit, the co-founder of the International Internship University, says that appropriate education by IIU puts us, the learner, at the best place to have a secure future and enables them to think outside the box, to come up with productive ideas which can bring the best out of them. Even better, IIU will place them with the good opportunities of job and internship. Varied courses by IIU will be a gateway of success to their desired profession by eliminating all the possible hurdles. We open the doors for everyone at global level who would love to avail the courses virtually and would admire those who seize their studies for various purposes. The mission of IIU is to let the torch of knowledge illuminate the world. Our co-founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit, always has one dream, that education should reach every learner across the globe and no child should be deprived of education. A great leader like the Indian co-founder Piyush Pandit is not only set out to be a leader, but he set out to make a difference. IIU is the revolution in the education system by bringing the new virtual learning era. It is the perfect fusion of traditional and modern education system. The world had changed drastically. It's time to have some innovations in education. International Internship University is a change maker, brings a one and a unique educational news platform, IIU TV, and e-magazine revolution to celebrate and explore new virtual learning era. IIU is the gateway to the effectiveness of the teaching learning process. Mentor is someone who allows exploring the hope inside the individual. Today, we have a great personality who speaks, trains, and coaches to meet the needs of the individual, associations, business, and organizations. Yes, she is Professor Dr. Siham E.L. Kafafi. She is the founder of Arrows Research Consultancy Limited. She is an entrepreneur, educator, business mover who is passionate about making a difference in the lives of the students and clients. She started her company in June 2014 with the aim of sharing her mentoring, training, and coaching experience through tailored programs, serving her clients and their needs. She has a wide industry and consultancy experience in the medical, manufacturing, service industry, besides being an academic for the past 24 years. She is a passionate educationalist through and thought leader who helped graduate over 10,000 students over her career. Her teaching experience play a leadership role in creation of high quality students experience in a wide range of business management and adult education courses. She has held various academic positions in various institutions. She holds a PhD from the University of Waikato, New Zealand, a master's in adult literacy, numeracy education from Auckland University of Technology, a master's of public administration from the American University in Cairo and Bachelor's of Arts in English Literature with honors from Ain Shams University, Cairo, Egypt. Professor Dr. El Kafafi is a public and motivational speaker at national and international level. She has over 100 publications in the referred journal articles, book chapters, and conferences proceeding besides being on the editorial board of various national and international journals, member of international educational boards and committees, and on board of examiners award committees. She is the co-editor of the Handbook of Research on Indigenous Knowledge and Biculturalism in Global Context, published by IGI Global Publisher in early 2019. Professor Dr. Siham was granted various other national and international awards. So our day one trainer of the Batch 2 Mentor Development Program, I welcome you on this virtual platform. So let's begin the session to be a mentor, a role model, and to set an example with our eminent, talented, and experienced trainer. Dear ma'am, the platform is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Dr. Snigdha. Thank you for your warm welcome. Thank you for your kind words. Thanks to the Vice Chancellor, Corina, for being with us today. Thanks for Nada. Thanks for IIU. Thanks for the participants. It's wonderful to be with you here today. Apologies if I missed anybody's name. So today we are going to be talking about a topic that is actually close and dear to my heart, because I believe it touches all of us, no matter what is our background, no matter where we are. I think we need it not only professionally, but personally in our personal life or in our other extracurricular activities. So I'm greeting you from New Zealand, as we call it here, Aotearoa, this is the Maori name for it, the country of the long white cloud. We have beautiful, beautiful clouds over here. New Zealand is 2 islands, as you can see, the North Island and the South Island. I live in the North Island, and I live in the biggest city here, which is Auckland. In the top there, as you can see, beside the word North Island, Auckland. It has got the biggest number of people and most jobs and opportunities. So today I will just open the door for you and introduce you to what I would call the art of mentoring. It is an art indeed. So the first thing that I would like to do, please, for all of you as participants, I want you, while you're sitting, to look around. Look in your purses, in your wallets, in your briefcases, in your pockets, if you have anything, or anywhere around you. And I want you to pick up and choose one thing that resembles or symbolizes something of value for you, or that is relevant in your lifestyle. For example, it can be a photo, it can be a piece of jewelry, it can be a card, any type of card, anything. So, and then I want you please to put your camera on, put that item that you chose, and please mention, what does this item symbolize to you? I can see that Corina is the first one. She has got something. So let us start with Corina.
Yes, I choose a book because I am a teacher, and you know, all the teachers are working with books, but not just because of that. I believe by reading, by research, by teaching others, It's the most important value in our life as people, as human beings, not only as the teachers. So if you want to go in the future and to have an open mind, you must read and read and read. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Corina. Who is next? Well, if nobody's coming forward, I will start calling names. Okay.
Okay, I took a working book and one marker because I don't have a pencil here. So that is for me now very important because when I listen somebody and learn, I always write. So
to you, it's means of learning, right? It's a way of learning. Okay, thank you very much, Nada. Yes, Shamin.
Yes, hello. I don't really have my purse with me, but what I carry with myself is my watch.
Okay.
So I do not like to be late. I'm quite particular about that.
So what does it symbolizes for you? Your work ethics, for example?
That, I do not like to procrastinate things.
Okay,
so,
very good.
This is important for me because as a teacher, I have to be upfront, you know, before my students enter in the class. And time is important to me.
So it is with your feeling about time. Is it to do with your work ethics, your practices also?
Basically, it's during my work. But then if it's a Sunday like this, it's different a bit. So I like to pamper myself more.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you very much for sharing. Who is next, please? No hands up. Okay, let me read the names. What about Shioma? Are you there? Anamika? What about Anamika? What about Anamika?
I believe her internet is not very good.
Okay.
She has opened her microphone, but
yes,
cannot hear her.
Okay. What about Kushbu?
Myself, Pooja, ma'am. Hello.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am having my pen in my hand, ma'am. It is
Yes.
around me, but I think it symbolizes me because a pen is very important to a teacher or a educator. So I think it is it symbolizes me because I am the pillar of my school, and this pen is symbol for this pen is pillar for me because without this pen I can do nothing. As always says that pen is always mightier than sword also. So if we are having a pen in our hand, I think nothing can beat us.
Thank you very, very much. Thanks for sharing. Anjana? Anjana? No, Anjana. Okay. We had Patricia just joining us. Hi, Patricia. How are you today?
Hello, hello. I'm fine, and you?
We're fine.
Thank you. Sorry, I joined in late today.
No, no worries. Patricia, what is everybody is discussing is that everybody is choosing an item from around them. It can be, as you can see, a pen, a piece of jewelry, a card, a book, whatever, and sharing it with us and explaining why they had this choice. What does this item symbolizes to them? What does it mean to them?
Okay, thank you so much. I think I would rather choose a book because with a book, when I see a book, It opens my mind the moment I start reading, and also it depends on the type of book that I have chosen. A book symbolizes me because it is the beginning and the end. I was created, I'm living on this earth, and one day I'm going to leave this earth. So a book symbolizes me the best. You can only see the good of a book when you open it inside. So I think that symbolizes my character.
Very good. Thank you very, very much, Patricia, for sharing with us. So, Khushbu, you would like to share with us, please? Okay. What about Owana? Owana, she just joined us. Okay. So, well, Naveen, how about Naveen? He's gone too. Okay.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. I'm fine.
Are you with us? What is your item? What's your item? I put it in the chat. Your pen? Okay. So what does it symbolize? Okay. So is Dr. Snigdha still with us?
I'm there.
Yes. Yeah, what is your item?
My item is my laptop because without that, I being a teacher, educator, I cannot go for the virtual classes. So for me, my item is the laptop.
Thank
It
you very much for
symbolizes.
sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Una, and she is writing. I'm not sure, maybe she's got problems with the sound. She is saying, I will choose my notebook. I use it to organize my activities for everyday work. Also, I will keep in it quotes to make me productive. Okay. Let me thank you very, very much, first of all, for sharing your items and for explaining what do they represent for you. So let me tell you, it is written here. Let me share again with you the screen. So in the screen, as you can see, it is written icebreaker, okay? And what I value. That is the name of that icebreaker. That is how I named it. So what I wanted you to attract your attention to you is that, what is it that you value? This icebreaker works two ways here. It's not only me getting to know you, but it's also you getting to know each other. And there is a huge there are lots of objectives. And this is always what I do, is that when I give any activity or any discussion, there is a very good value out of it. There is an idea behind it, a benefit behind it, or else I will be wasting your time and my time. And human beings never do anything without saying what's in it for me. So what's in it for you? You were put in a situation where you had to think on the spot. And I've noticed that lots of people said the same thing. So you will ask, what about you, Siham? You did not share with us. Let me share with you. I think you can all see me, or let me be bigger on the screen to show you. Can you see this? Can you see what I'm wearing?
Yeah.
That is Pearl's necklace.
Yes, yes.
I wore it specially today because I am going to use it as one of my props. I didn't wear it haphazardly, that specific one, because that one has got a huge significance for me. That one has been given to me by my grandmother from my mother's side when I finished high school and went to uni. Besides, of course, when I started growing and learning about what is your star sign and what is your stone that correlates to your star sign, it's pearls. That my grandmother, peace be upon her soul, she's dead. But that always makes me feel I'm close to her. She was an icon. She had certain values that she instilled in me when I was young. I believe, yesterday I was mentioning this statement, I believe we are the product of our parents. You will come and tell me, Siham, this workshop is mentoring. What on earth are you doing? Why are you talking about this? Well, I have a very good reason. Our values is very important. What we value is very important, because when we go through this training, you are going to choose a mentor. You have to be linked. You have to understand each other. You have to know the background, the culture, the values that is shaping that person to be able to serve them the best way possible. So understanding and taking time at the beginning to get to know the person will minimize from misunderstanding and headaches down the line. It's very important to get to know the people and communicate openly with them and know things about them, know things that makes them tick in order to be able to work with them closely. The relationship of a mentor and a mentee is extremely important and very, very close. If they don't gel, they will never reach the outcome, and it will be a very bad experience at the end. And you need to save yourself from this headache from the beginning. So let's go back to our point. We finished the icebreaker, the first discussion, the talk. Let us look at what we are going. What is the objective of today's session is that I would like to provide you with an introduction, because remember that program is for 3 days. So I'm going to provide you with an introduction about that program, the importance and the value to you to become a successful mentor by developing communication skills, and benefit your mentee to reach their goal if you want to be in this field of work. So I will provide you with useful tips to utilize in your mentorship journey. As you can see, in the middle is mentorship. So it is, you are going to be giving direction, you're going to be giving training, giving support, motivating, and the end result is that you want your mentee to be successful by reaching their goal. So what we're going to be covering today is that, first of all, we're going to talk about the topic itself. What is mentoring? What does it mean? What does it entail? And of course, if you are going to be, I can see that all of you today are educators. Some of you are responsible for departments. And even if you are not, you are responsible for your own household. So how are you going to develop a program? What are the different types of mentoring? And what is the process that you will have to go through? Everything has to go through a process. And then the strategies for finding a mentor. There are certain characteristics for that mentor that you need to find out. We will have in the middle a few activities, and then we are going, after we finish with how to develop a program, you will go into details and look at what is a mentor and how to be a successful mentor, and what are those qualities, what is their responsibilities, and then wrap up with an activity at the end. So let us first start by what is mentoring? What is that big word that everybody talks about? There are different overlapping between different terminologies, but we are going to be concentrating on mentoring. Mentoring actually allows people to learn from one another. So we're learning from each other. We are trying to share our knowledge. So I have knowledge right now, and I'm trying to transfer it to you so that you would benefit from my knowledge, my information, my skills, okay? So if you are in the workplace, what you are trying to do is that you are, as an employee, whether you are a supervisor or a manager, you are trying to guide maybe new employees coming in. You are taking the role of training them and processes in this organization that you have experience with it, you have been practicing it for years. So sometimes when you say mentor, it is not a must that that person has to be a supervisor or a manager. It can be a colleague also. It can be somebody who has got years of experience and knowledge in order to support you and help you. If we are going to look outside the industries and organizations and look for an example for an academic field. So most of us, the educators, are trying to mentor our students. We are trying to support them in their educational journey. Sometimes we have admin staff who work, for example, as advisors. So those advisors, this is their title, but maybe they are also mentoring the students in order to guide them and tell them which courses to do, where to go, how's it going to happen, what is required for their graduation, their career path, what kind of jobs they will find in the future once they finish this program. That's also mentoring them. So as you can see how diverse that field of mentoring is. So there are lots of benefits, of course, for it. And as I mentioned earlier, everybody, all the human beings would come and say, what's in it for me? So most of the people would not venture and do anything if they don't feel that there is benefits for them. So let us tell you some of those benefits. If we are going through a formal mentoring program, this is allowing both the mentor and the mentee to have a specific frame of mentoring that has to be formal, documented, planned. And it has to be productive, and you have to go at the end and see what are the outcomes. If, of course, the mentoring program is going to benefit the mentee and the mentor relationship. How? Because both of them are working within an organization and they are trying to build this culture of mentorship, that everybody is working towards reaching the same shared vision. Also, it can diminish isolation. We all know that there are silos, there are cliquey groups in different organizations. But if you are creating this mentoring culture within the organization, it is going to have an atmosphere of inclusivity. It is going to have an atmosphere of collaboration, of teamwork and engagement, and develop everybody, the skills of everybody, and minimize the segregations and the isolation. Also, it will encourage people to connect with each other, to build strong relationships, to trust each other. Can you imagine yourself working in an organization where people are smiling and happy, they're always helpful, they want to give you a hand, oh, you cannot do this, let me help you. That will motivate you, that will encourage you to do more and more, versus if you are working in an organization with everybody is hogging the information. Nobody wants to share. Nobody wants to help. And everybody's telling, I don't know, but they know. Or, you know, it's not a healthy culture. It is not a healthy environment. It saps your energy. We don't want that. So what if the leadership within this organization is advocating mentoring programs that will be healthier? It will keep the professionalism and that dynamic professional culture of collaborating, and everybody will be benefiting. It will be win-win situation where everybody is working towards a united future together. If we are going to look from an academic perspective, our hope always, and I believe you all agree with me, is that we support our students, we help them in reaching their goals. I mean, for me, my motto that I always tell my students, your success is my reward. And I mean it. I always write it and tell them, your success is my reward. You want to reward me for all my effort? Be successful, do your best, achieve, reach your goals. And then later on, I'm walking in the street or I'm here or there, and they stop me. Oh, hi, Siham, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I reached here, I reached there. That's wonderful. That's the best gift for us educators, I believe. So these are just some of the benefits of a mentoring program. So let us look at the different types of mentoring. There is what they call the traditional one-on-one mentoring. And even though I mentioned the word traditional, please do not misunderstand me. And don't think that, oh, it is archaic, it's old, it doesn't happen. No, no, no. Lots of these old things are still beautiful, and we can build on them. We can enhance on them, but that doesn't mean we walk away from them. So this type, a mentee and mentor are matched. You see, there's matchmaking here. And they either have a program on their own, or it is formally provided to them. If it's within an organization, the organization has got maybe certain kind of programs that is set, and all the employees, for example, who come in will have it. An academic university would have a certain program that every student should go through it. That is their system. But in other cases, sometimes it is tailored to fit the needs, the specific needs of those employees or those students. So the mentee-mentor partners here participate in this relationship, okay? There is a structure, there is a framework, there is a beginning date, there is an end date, and at the end, the outcome has to be achieved, or it's going to be tested, or they have to report on it, okay? So that's the first type. The other one is the distance mentoring, which is, in other words, it's like what we're doing right now, virtual, which is what the whole world is doing now. There are lots of things that are happening virtual. We are not actually meeting physically, but we can see each other, okay? So that's distance mentoring. There is also group mentoring, which is one single mentor that is matched with a cohort of mentees. And that can be an example of certain types of certain courses that we give in the university. So I may say that because the course that I'm teaching now, I'm training the trainers, I'm teaching the teachers. So you can say I am their mentor because I am helping them how to be the best possible teachers they can. When they go out and teach students, they know what to do. So that could be group mentoring, okay? So these are available three types. Now, you can do it also in different, that also entails the type of relationship. So as I mentioned to you, can have it a formal one. A formal mentorship relationship that includes a written agreement. And you have everything is itemized, everything is written on it. You have to detail when are you going to meet? Are you going to meet every week? Is it going to be every twice, 3 times? What day exactly? What time exactly? And all the activities, the agenda, what's happening, and everybody signs on it. That's formal. And the outcome at the end, you have to look at it. Has been achieved or not? It's not achieved, why not? If it's achieved, congratulations, well done. Now, the informal one is that, how many times do you hear about people, oh, this is my mentor, but have you met this guy or have you been with them? No. Sometimes they even don't know that they are your mentor, believe it or not. I've heard it from lots of people. Ooh, that's my mentor. So then say, okay, who's that? And this is another country, and I don't think that mentor ever heard anything about that person. So how come you say this is your mentor? Well, what happens is that they follow them, they listen to anything they say. If they are on YouTube, if they are on, I don't know wherever, they just follow. They have books, they buy it for them. They hear anything about them in the social media, they follow them. That's one type of informal. But the other types is that you can have a person, but you can meet with them, but not regularly. There is no documentation, there is no contract. Sometimes it would be, sometimes it's verbal, it's a handshake. You met the person, you talk to them, can you be my mentor? Can I draw on your knowledge? Can I ask for your help every once in a while? And both parties agree, then the unspoken or the unwritten or unsigned agreement happens, and then you meet, okay? And there is the virtual one, and that is the distance one. It can happen by emails, it can happen by chats, it can happen by phone calls. We have all those apps like WhatsApp, we have lots of them. What are the names? There are lots of names that even evades me. Viber, Telegram, WeChat. Oh God, there are plenty of them. These ones, you can use them too, whether it's going to be virtually, you can write emails. I mean, you know, but the physical interaction is not there. The other one is also this kind of relationship is that you physically meet and you know, you have your meetings regular like that. And there is the peer-to-peer relationship, which is you go to a new job, you have one of your colleagues whom you feel that they have been there more than you, they know a lot more than you, they have experience with that specific organization. So you also draw on their knowledge and you ask them that you want them to mentor you, you want them to share their knowledge, to help you. That can be a coworker, a friend. These things happens a lot in clubs, for example, also whether it's sports club or social clubs. Okay. Now I talked a lot, and I was wondering if you can think with all those different types of mentorship and relationships, and please share. Have you encountered any of those? I've given you some of my examples. Any of those types of mentoring before, and which one? And please give us an example of your experience. I will put this in the chat because I would like to see your faces. So, here it is. This is to everybody. So please, it's your turn to talk. So who is going to start? Pooja. Pooja is saying no, ma'am.
No, I have never encountered, ma'am.
Oh, you've never encountered. So,
Yes.
So just to make sure that you
This
see
is my
that-
first experience. This is my first experience, ma'am. Actually, virtually, when I was in college, I have learned from my teachers, my lecturers, my professors. But after that, just last for 22 years, I am teaching only. I am the mentor of my students. And first time I am attending your session.
Oh, okay. So you believe you haven't been in any of those, having none of those relationships?
No.
No mentoring whatsoever?
No, mentoring means, pardon ma'am, actually you was asking that I have encountered any of these sessions like these sessions before or not?
No, it is not session. I'm not talking about the session. My apologies. Let me repeat the question again.
Yes.
What I asked, it is written there in the chat. Have you encountered any of those types of mentoring before, and which one? And please give me your experience. It is not sessions. I said types, the types of mentoring.
In college time, just we have encountered, ma'am, just our teachers were teaching. It was physical interaction, as we can say, because now the trend has come for virtual trainings or mentoring. But earlier there was not such this type of mentoring was not there. But when I was college, there were peer-to-peer group discussions, or with teachers there were discussion, like teacher was asking some question and we were giving the answer.
Okay, thank you. So can I ask a question, please? So for example, when you had this job, when you started the job, did anybody tell you what are you supposed to be doing, for example?
No, ma'am. I think actually it was in my blood, because when I was in 10th standard and my teachers, when used to talk or gossip, I used to say to my teacher that, sir, I can take your class. But while I was in 10th standard, I was teaching 8th standard. You can suppose means two teachers were gossiping and I saw that their class was empty. I took permission from my teacher that, sir, please may I take your class? The students are making noise. It was in my blood. And really, I proved to be a very good teacher, because whenever I had taught, they were so impressed that I always got the best teacher award in every farewell party of class +1, +2 even.
So
I don't know how it happened.
You never took any development courses?
No.
Any development courses?
No, never, ma'am.
Okay.
It may be surprise. It may be surprise for you, but I am also surprised that I never got a chance.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for sharing.
Okay.
Okay, next, Patricia. Thank you very much, Pooja. Patricia, your hands are up. Yes.
Okay, thank you for the question. I have been through the three types of mentoring, starting with the traditional one-on-one mentoring. When I was a student teacher, I went on that traditional type of mentoring. Also, as a teacher, I have to mentor my students. Whenever we are doing counseling, whenever that's being a mentor and a mentee. Then during my teaching years, I was given a student teacher who was on attachment. That one is a traditional one-on-one mentoring, whereby you have to have a good relationship with your mentee, so that whatever you are teaching, whatever you are telling them, they can be able to understand. Then through distance mentoring, right now, what we are doing is what we call distance mentoring. For me to be able to understand you, I have to listen, develop a big ear, and then take on the concepts that you are teaching. Then with group mentoring, we normally do it when we go for workshops. We are put into different groups, and then we talk about a certain area. Even if when you go into different breakout rooms, maybe that will be a group mentoring, whereby you are discussing questions as a group. and then you go back to research. So I have experienced the 3 types of mentoring during my life. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Patricia. God bless you. Thank you very much for sharing. I can see that Shamin's hands were up too. Would you like to share with us?
Yes, hello everyone again. In Malaysia, actually, we do have this platform which is called PLC. It's the Professional Learning Community among teachers. So definitely we go through all the types of mentoring that has been mentioned just now. The traditional, the distance mentoring, and the group mentoring. So this is very important for us here because we do have it, it's compulsory actually. And this is a very good platform for teachers to share their opinions and knowledge and share their skills. So, you know, teachers, as we teach, sometimes we get worn out. You know, we get worn out. So this is a very best platform actually to do mentoring. But Professor Dr. Siham, I just want to ask you this. I'm a bit confused. The types of mentoring relationships, the informal and face-to-face, I find that they are just more or less the same. Or can you please explain to me that?
They are a little bit overlapping.
Yes.
Yeah, you're talking about that. Because sometimes the informal one, this can happen either face-to-face or virtually. It is sometimes different. So it is itemizing it in a way that you can differentiate. Sometimes it happens in some of the mentoring, the crux of it and the basis of it, it has to be face-to-face. You see? But the face-to-face can be also formal.
Yes.
It can be formal and it can be informal. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So the virtual can be formal and informal. The face-to-face can be formal and informal, and vice versa. So the important thing here is that when you are starting at the beginning, I will be talking about it. When you do the program, you have to itemize these things and clarify them from the beginning. That is why I did the first activity of the icebreaker is that initial meeting. You need to get to know the person and also your choice. How are you going to choose your mentor?
All right.
Sometimes you have the right to choose, but sometimes the mentor is decided for you, which is another issue. This is mainly in the formal ones. Thank you. Thanks. Is there anybody else who would like to share with us before we move to the next point?
I would like to, Siham.
Yes.
I can say that I meet in my career over 25 years of experience, all of those types of mentoring, but I want to stop on the informal one, and I will tell you why. I meet a lady, she is now a retired teacher. I meet her maybe 15 years ago, I don't remember very well. Anyhow, was not a meeting face to face, was just a meeting in virtual platforms, but I follow her. I see all the time what she was doing. She was involved. So a lady around 60, 65 years old to be involved in so many projects with different teachers from across the world. I believe one knows her is Mrs. Juliana Chubuk. It's a renowned teacher across the world. She was the first one who mentoring me about international academic work. Through this lady, I get involved in different projects. I get involved in different trainings, and I learn, I can say I learn a lot from her, not just by being involved with agreements, but by following what she was doing. I really appreciate this lady, and I hope I all the time I call her my mentor, my angel, because she is amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Corina. Yeah, and this is Shamin. This is one of the things that would answer also to clarify what you're asking, because the informal one, that is a very good example. That person does not know. I have somebody that I started recently following on Instagram. I religiously, and he is, I haven't mentioned to you guys, yes, I'm in New Zealand, but I'm originally from Egypt. Okay, I just moved to New Zealand the last 25 years, but my main and the bulk of my education and my values system and everything was actually from back home in Egypt. And that person that I'm following on Instagram is from Egypt. I do not have a Sky TV, or I don't have what these gimmicky things that you put it and you get all the channels all over the world. But I have my smartphone and I have Instagram. So I don't follow everything. And here in New Zealand, they are fixated on New Zealand news. You don't hear much about what's happening outside the world if you don't go and research it. So that person, I like their style. I like the way they talk. I like how they research each topic and how they give examples and how they invite to their program psychiatrists, psychologists, behavioral scientists. And it is for my personal self-development, how to communicate, how to interact with people. And do you think that person knows of my even existence in this world? Of course, they don't know that I even exist. But I am learning a lot from their knowledge, from their skills, from all those videos on Instagram that I see. And he or she is my mentor, and they don't know. Yeah. Anyway, that's informal. That can be a perfect example for informal mentoring. Now, but we need, as organizations, to concentrate, please, on the formal type, the one that has to be documented, the one that spreads the culture of collaboration, teamwork, and synergy within an organization, and for us educators with our students. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions and for sharing your experiences. Now, let us look, as I mentioned to you now, that we need to have a look at the formal mentoring. And so what are the characteristics of this formal mentoring? Is that the partnerships between the mentees and the mentors are specifically arranged. So as I mentioned, it can be arranged through the organization. It can be within formal hierarchy. Also, the partnership is temporarily, which means they allocate this person to be your mentor for a specific period of time, maybe a semester, maybe a whole year. They want to introduce something specific to you. And then it is intentionally the mentee receives all the help. So in the formal one, remember that the mentor is not the focus. The focus is the mentee. And the peers may or may not have chemistry. Okay? So, and chemistry is extremely important in my own opinion. And then the partnerships are monitored and supported, supposedly. Let me give you an example from real life, my own experience with that. So, for example, I work right now in an indigenous tertiary institute. And in this indigenous tertiary institute, they speak the indigenous language. Lots of people there, of course, which is the Maori language, which I don't know it. I speak English and I speak Arabic, but I don't speak Maori. But because I have been working with them since 2019, I do understand their kopapa, their philosophies, their values, which I believe it's universal values, and I gel with it. I understand it. I practice it myself. So I have to know the terminologies in their language. But they have a lot of tikanga, what they call, and the tikanga means customs, certain customs that you have to follow. And I am sure that in every country, they have their own indigenous people, they have their own rituals. So for example, the Marae, which is the sacred house of the Maoris, when you are going there, there are certain protocols that you have to follow and you cannot break. It's very bad. You cannot do that. So when I first joined them, what they wanted is that they wanted to allocate another older person who would mentor me and what do you call, show me the ropes or lead the way or teach me about their tikanga and their way of living and their way of doing things. And the thing is that when they started searching and to try to find out, the searching for the mentor was a very tedious job. My boss or my supervisor or my manager, whatever the title is, could not find somebody who would be adequate for me. And at some stage when he came and offered me a specific person, I refused because there was conflict of interest. And I explained my reasons. So, and I think we didn't have chemistry. And I am very big on this thing of having chemistry and gelling with the person who is going to be your mentor. And if you ask me why, you may agree with me or you may not agree, because that relationship, you have to be able to be relaxed, to be open to the person, to trust them, to learn from them. If you are not feeling this trust, you can't learn. It's exactly like with our students. If you don't start from the beginning, this icebreaker, showing your interest to the person, giving them attention, giving them care, giving them time, and making them feel that you are there for them, it's not going to happen. So it is very, very sensitive and challenging thing. So the mentoring process has got 4-step structure. It doesn't happen haphazardly. And I am one of the people who believes in processes. And I follow what we call the systems theory, the inputs, the process, the outputs, the 3 boxes. And you all know where the arrows go. So you need to make sure your inputs is exactly what is required, that will go to this process and follow the steps in order to reach the outcome that you actually want. And you need to also check all the way through, which is what we call quality assurance, quality control on each and every step to make sure all the way through that you are following that process, following the requirements, or else you are not going to arrive to the outcome that you want. So this happens at the beginning, at the middle, and then the result at the end. Okay, so at the beginning, you need to have planning. You need to plan what is the program, what is the objective, what is the aim of it, what you are going to be actually doing. And then once you do that, you will be able to search and find the right mentor for that specific program. So that's the initial step number 1 in that process. Once this is done, you have planned, you've decided what is the program, what is the objectives, who is going to be the mentor for that mentee. you follow the next step, which is the initial phase meetings. So you are in these meetings, you are building the relationship between the mentor and the mentee. You are developing this relationship, and you are agreeing or disagreeing. Yes, we're going to work with each other. No, we're not going to work. So you go back to step number 1. But if everything is okay, then you have to have an agreement that both parties agree on. Then after that is the middle phase meetings, which is you have, it's like when you're doing a project, it's time the timeline. So you are developing what are the goals, the timings that is going to be required for each step of those goals so that you reach there successfully. And you have to keep an eye all the time on it until you reach there, and then the end, you are finished, you reached your goal, you evaluated the results, you are ending this formal relationship. You see, let me give you a good example. When I started, for example, supervising PhD students or even master students, these steps are exactly followed. And we write an agreement and both of us sign on it. And we decide in it how many times we're going to meet, what we're going to do, and there is a plan. And in order, when is the closure happening is when that student finish and submits their thesis and they graduate. That's it. So it's finished. Okay? So these phases, they occur usually on 6 months, 12 months period, something like that. But sometimes with the PhD, you can have few years. This is why you have to be very careful in the initial stage when you are choosing your mentor. Then the amount of time for each phase is going to be varying depending on the needs, the personal style of the mentor and the mentee, which is what I call it the level of readiness. So I am having a student who wants more hand-holding. So at the beginning, when we start together, maybe we will be meeting once a week, twice a week, until I make sure that that student is confident enough, they know what they're doing. I've put them through this difficult, challenging initial period, and then afterwards, maybe we'll meet once a month. You see what I mean? And then afterwards, maybe we'll need every quarter when they finished something and they wrote it and they want to show it to me to comment on it. So it depends again on the agreement between the mentor and the mentee. So through all this phase, you're analyzing the progress. You are checking because you want to complete that on time. Okay, so there are strategies suggested for you, tips in order to choose and find your mentor. So you need to choose a compatible mentor. This is extremely important if you want to succeed in whatever you are doing, because that relationship is really vital and it's very important. So the first thing that will come to mind is you want to choose somebody who has got this desire. In other words, they want to be your mentor. They want to be with you. But some people would say, yes, yes, I want. But then when you want them, they're not there. They don't have time. They have a lot of things on their plate. They, as the colloquial saying, they have bitten more than they can chew. That's a problem. I actually personally experienced it with my supervisor in my PhD. He had no time for me. And that was very frustrating. So that's one thing. Then the other thing also is the expertise. Some of the people come and tell you, if you have a supervisor, it is important that they would have expertise in the field that you are researching in. Versus other people, they tell you it doesn't matter if he knows exactly in your field, but what matters is that if they know how to motivate you, how to direct you, how to give you the tools and the techniques of actually doing your research, how to push you forward. These are two different separate, what do you call, thoughts. And it's up to you to choose. So you need to look at all these things. So if you want to do a person who is having the same background like you, the same specialty like you, so you have to search for that. Also, it's extremely important to have a mentor who knows how to communicate. If you're the kind of person who wants somebody who is articulate and can talk, or do you want somebody who is very good in emails and in writing? You want somebody who is regular, or you want somebody to leave you and just check on you from far away what you need? So whatever type of communication, you need to also look at that. The other thing is that somebody who has got a good track record, a track record of being a mentor before that. You've heard a lot about their leadership style. You gel with their leadership style because there are different leadership styles. One type may gel with you, another type may not gel with you. So is this type of leadership will help you reach your goal? Is this how professionally and personally you can actually deal with that person, or it would not really gel with you? Okay, and what type of relationship do you want with them? Do you want it close, or do you want it really, you know, formal? Do you want it, you know, friendly? What type of relationship you need from them? And also, if they really have the time to commit to you. So those are just tips for you. You think about them when you are trying to find the suitable mentor for you. You can have any other considerations, of course, to add to the list. So now, whether you are a manager or head of a department or a teacher or whatever, maybe you will be asked to set up a mentoring program, okay? So when you want to set a mentoring program, whether for your students, for your department, for your university, for your organization, as I mentioned to you, there is a process. There are steps that you go through, okay? So the first one and most important one is decide, what is it? I mean, are you making a mentoring program just for the sake of being, oh, I have a mentoring program? Or I heard about it, it's hip and cool, let me do it? I hope not. I hope this is not the case. I hope the case is more serious, that you have something, there is a need, and you believe in it. So you need to write the objective. What is the area of mentoring? What is it? What type of mentoring program you're going to have? And you need to put the objective. So you need to have to define it. You have to write the purpose and the goals. That is the initial step. You cannot just go willy-nilly and say, I'm writing a mentoring program, okay? Then you have to design the program. So how long? It's like a project. A project has got a starting date and an ending date. We all know that. So you have to have maybe a Gantt chart. You need to design. You need to have a schedule, whatever you want to call it. And for example, the beginning of it, how many days allocated, how many people required for it. Is it going to be one-on-one, or is it going to be for group, or is it going to be for a certain department? What? It all depends on your definition of the objectives and purpose. And then you fill the program. Let me give you a simple example. Now we're having that program that we are actually in. We gave it a name. We have 3 days. We have the different topics that's going to be covered. We set the timing. We launched it. We market it. We know who is going to teach this part. That's it. That is a program. Here you go. That's a design program for you. And then afterwards, you start onboarding the mentors and the mentees. Me, Naveen, you, him, there, them. And then who is going to attend? And then afterwards, you start matching. As I told you, it's a matching process between the mentors and the mentees, especially if it's going to be one-on-one. It depends again, what is the program? What is your objective? What is the purpose? And then afterwards, you have to keep motivating, keep the momentum, keep them on. And then at the end, you need to measure the success. What is the return on investment for you as an organization? So for example, the end of it, oh, the employees are more motivated. The employees are more productive. They are doing this, they are doing that. That is extremely important, which is also, you can have different tools. You can have feedback. I want feedback. Fill the feedback forms and see what they want. Maybe you want to do another program. So you want to learn what were the things that went well versus the things that didn't go well. See, here it is. That's a program for you. So this is another way to demonstrate it also. Different words, same thing. It is just to demonstrate to you that you can present your material in different styles, in different ways. Some people like writing, some people love tables, some people love colorful figures. Here it is. Design your program, the audience, who are they, the goals, the format, what is it going to be like? And then you write the attract your participants, you recruit the training, and then you connect the mentors and the mentees. Then you match them, have their profiles and match them. Then you guide it, then help, checkpoints. Remember, when you have a process, you keep on checking. Are you following what you said or not? And then at the end, you measure the success. What was the learning impact? Was it useful, not useful? It is what we call in the field of total quality management is continuous improvement. We're always aspiring to do things better and smarter and higher quality, of course. So that's also another example for you. Somebody decided, oh, we want to have in our organization entrepreneurial skills. So they divided their program like that. They wrote this beautiful schedule, and they said, this is the first phase, what we are going to do in it. And this is going to take 1 to 3 months, something like that. And then this is the second phase, and this is what we are going to do in it. And it's going to be only 4 days, 5 days. And that's the third phase. And this is going to take, I don't know, maybe 12 months or more. And these are the things that we are going to fill in it. And then after the program, how are we going? And then after that, at the end of the program, how are we going to analyze it? How are we going to? Somebody please mute your sound.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and then at the end, which is very important, the final phase is to check on the success. This is very important because the feedback you get is actually feeds into your next process. It feeds in and it helps you. That feedback, how to enhance the process of continuous improvement, how to get even better. So this is an example for you for a mentoring objective. And somebody wrote it, that in an organization, I want to have retention, engagement, and empowerment. Okay, I want to support and reward high performance. So you are going to do that. How are you going to do this? So you are creating, this is the goal and the aim of your program. Or you have to have a creation of a talent pool. You want people there to be always there to help others and newcomers. Development of professional relationships. Create culture of continuous learning. Individual development. Knowledge transfer. Career growth and development. Cultivate individual career planning ownership. A mentor to gain better perspectives of individuals and organizational issues. You can, there's no right and wrong there. There is what fits with you. There is no one size fits all. So you choose what is suitable for you. These are ideas for you to choose from. Now, activity. I've talked a lot. Now is your turn. So I want you please to reflect on your workplace and decide on a mentoring program relevant to the needs of your specific industry. And I believe that all the ones who are there tonight are educators. So in this case, I want you to look at either your school, your university, or if you belong, for example, to a certain sports club or a certain other extracurricular organization, look at it. Draw a draft of this mentoring program following the steps discussed in the previous figures and examples provided. What are the main objectives of your mentoring program? And then we're going to share it together. So I can put you in, let me put this in the chat box so that people would know about it. And I will give you the choice of either doing it all of us as one collective group or dividing you into your groups. First of all, do you all know what are you going to be doing? If you're not sure, raise your hand, raise your hand. Please raise your hand. Nobody is talking to me anymore. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, we are here. Yes, we understand. I believe all of us understand what we have to do. To prepare a program, mentoring program, and also to choose some objectives for our mentoring program and share with you and share. Okay.
Yeah. So you think what is your organization or what is your department or whatever you think a mentoring program will suit, and then which area you want to do the mentoring, and according to this area, you do a program.
Okay.
So
we have 10 minutes, yes?
Yes, so you can have any ideas that you want. So for example, in a university, you say, I want to do a program for the retention of the students. I think that this department, the students, there isn't a lot of people who complete. There isn't a lot of them who stay and complete at the end of the course, until the end of the course. So you want to do some kind of mentoring maybe to the teacher. How to help that teacher in order to give her new tools and strategies to help her students. You see? So you think about the topic, think about what is the objective, then you will be able to draw on the program, following those phases, those steps of the program. Is that okay? Where's my glasses? So would you like me to put you in I think I should divide you in 3 breakout rooms, but please talk together. Don't be silent. Show your faces to each other. Unmute yourselves. And I am going to visit every single room. How about that? So I will put you now in breakout rooms, and you can, all of you, collaborate on one. So each room will have only one program, one topic. So we'll end up with 3. Is that okay?
Okay.
Hopefully it's okay. Who is saying no rooms? No rooms. You want to work individually? Somebody's saying no rooms.
Professor Dr. Siham, I feel let's have an individual this because we are on the recording. So if you go into the room, the recording will get disturbed. It's my request.
Okay. Then guys, you have to work on it individually. Yeah, but if you're recording right now and they are working on it, still you have to stop the recording because nothing is happening.
Because
So
no
you
one
have to
will.
stop the recording and restart it. It's the same issue. They have to work on it. This is training. They will not be trained if they do not do it. So what is the final verdict? What's the final verdict, please? No rooms and sitting there and waiting for them to do it individually, or if they do it together, it's 5 per room.
Individually, I think everybody will learn better. Everybody will participate.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Again, there will be no recording while they're doing it because nobody will be talking, will be writing. Okay. Okay, everybody, please. The activity is there. I will put it again. I'll share it with you, and if you can kindly start doing it so that you will share after that. Here we go. That is the activity. You have 5 minutes, and then we will start talking. So it is my time now is 5 minutes past 8. So 10 minutes past 8, we will start talking, please. You will start sharing your mentoring program, your objectives. There's one now. Okay, guys, now let us start talking, please, because we are running out of time and there are still important things that I would like to share with you. Okay, we have about half an hour, so we need to expedite the process. So who would like to share, please, the objectives of their mentoring program? Do I see any hands up? No.
The time is short, very short actually.
My
I was
apologies for that.
Okay. I will try to just to speak. I have not enough time to prepare the program. Anyhow, what I have to do first of all is to design my program and to make sure my goal it's well known by my students. The program is integrated students with special needs in my classroom. The program will go on, mentoring will go on to my students, to my other students from my classroom. Of course, I have to inform all the parents, students, and head of my school about the program. After that, I plan a connection between mentor and the students. And the main objective of this program is that I want all the students to understand that every student with special need from special education must have the same opportunity to education as they have. I'm gonna go with some examples from my experience, or for example, let's say I can do something like a drama in the class and put the other students just to be an actor and to show the two others what will happen if they will will behave in different ways with students with special needs. I don't know, the time was short, sorry, very sorry.
No worries, no worries. I'm sorry because just we're having limited time. So thank you for sharing. There is another one that is written on the chat that I would like to share with you guys. And this is a program for a teacher socio-emotional. Our participant is having problems with the connectivity, cannot use the voice. I'm reading on her behalf. It's a teacher socio-emotional development program. And she says, I will mentor teacher in improving strategies and techniques of regulating emotions. For instance, they will need to be aware of their emotions. They will need to use some strategies or relaxation techniques when they feel overwhelmed. So that is what is written. And then coping strategies. Thank you very much for mentioning that. I would like to actually, this is a very important topic for emotional intelligence, actually, and how to cope and how to deal with this. There are lots of people also, there are lots of research that has been conducted, depending on what is the topic you're teaching, that you use aromatherapy in your classroom, in the corner there, but it wouldn't be overwhelming. And some of the techniques also for teaching is using very soft music. There are lots of strategies and techniques in this field. Anyway, this is just to give you a snippet about how to do the program. Now, let us move to the next part, which is the mentor themselves. If you want to be a mentor yourself, and it's very important. So the mentor, who is that mentor? You need to understand that person. They act as an advisor or a coach for less experience or less advanced mentees. So they are, in other words, they're providing expertise, professional knowledge from their own perspective. Remember that? Their own perspective. So mentors protect the interests of their mentees, of course. They have to care about you. And the mentees often learn from this relationship, and mentors frequently also benefit. So as I said, it is two ways, and it has to be built on trust. I liked this quote, and I'm sharing it with you. A mentor is like a tattoo. It stays with you forever. Somebody will come and tell me, oh, but we can have laser now to remove it. Yes, you can, but it will be very painful. Anyway, it's an analogy. Okay, we are going to move on. No, not enough time for this discussion. Let us look at some of the qualities of the good mentor. And please, while I am discussing this, I want you to think, to be what do you call it, an active listener. Okay, I want you to be an active listener while I'm going through this list, and I want you to think of yourself as a mentor and write down, jot down which ones of those qualities and characteristics that you have in you. Okay, so a patient listener and eagle-eyed. So sometimes people keep on repeating themselves and diverting and talking. Are you a patient listener? Do you have an eagle eye, which means do you give attention for the details, spot things? Are you the kind of person that people feel warm to? Are you approachable, that they run to you, they trust you? Gives advice without dictating actions, like you pose your advice as a suggestion. And that one is to do with your choice of words, your tone of voice, your body language. It's to do with your communication skills. Are you bossing that person, or are you suggesting something to them, advising them? Encouraging independence, yet offer support. So you want the people to think for themselves. That actually reminds me about something today that I was listening to. Somebody wrote a caption, a quote about how we treat people. So there are two ways of actions, and sometimes we want to help, especially our elderly parents or our little kids. And we think with our actions, when we're supporting them, that we are helping them. But actually, that can be interpreted by that person, you are robbing them of the right of doing things for themselves. You are robbing them of their independence. And you don't know it. You think I'm helping. So sometimes, because this person is elderly and their glasses is far away, you quickly run and bring it to them. Maybe that person wants to reach by themselves and get the glasses. If you do that, you are robbing them from the right of this action of doing it. Your little kid, you got them a toy, those Legos or whatever, and they stayed for long, they could not do it. Oh, you haven't done it? Let me do it for you. You think you're helping them, you're supporting them, but actually you are robbing them of their learning experience. So when you are a good mentor, you have to watch these things and balance. Are you supporting, or are you robbing them of their independence? Okay. Now, the other thing is also the feedback. Are you providing constructive feedback, or are you criticizing them? There's a thin line that separates, okay? I usually use a technique that we use in CRC, and it's called CRC. We use it in Toastmasters. Commend. So you start by commending the person on something they've done wonderfully. Then in the middle, you recommend something that needs improvement, and you have to give them solutions and different ways of doing it, not just criticize. And then you end by commending them. The last thing they hear in their ears is what they're gonna remember, okay? Also being open, being honest, you know, not saying things hurtfully, but not also being hypocritical. You see this balance required. So being a good role model for them, you know, in your actions and you spending your time and how you're helping them to share and to reach wherever they want. In other words, adding value and being effective to that mentee. Tick, tick, tick. See which ones fits with you. Now, there's a checklist that you have to look at and decide for yourself. Are you interested in making others succeed? Are you reliable, honest, trustworthy, confidential? Not go and talk about what they told you. Are you capable of active listening? Are you empathetic? And please remember, it is not sympathy, it's empathy, which is totally different, okay? And then are you able to question someone sensitively whilst empowering them? And this is very important at the beginning, to know the person, their background, their culture, their values, because sometimes there are certain things that are very sensitive to that person and you don't know. You don't know because you didn't spend time at the beginning to know them. It may be okay for you in your culture. It may be okay for you how you were brought up, but it may not be okay for that specific person. So you need to understand and know your mentee in order to be empowering, motivating for them, okay? And also, do you have enough expertise and knowledge in order to be able to support them and help them? So you need to be honest also. Okay, so the next, we're not gonna have this one because there is no time. Let's move to the other, for you as a mentor, how are you going to help your mentee? So you need to establish your expectations. So from the beginning, you need to have a framework. What is your role? What's expected from you? And also what is expected from your mentee? So the mentee needs to know what is expected from them and how much you are prepared to give them from time, how you are going to communicate with them, how many time, your availability, things like that. So you have to be very, very clear in that expectations from the beginning, because if that mentee expected something and you did not provide it, they will feel shortchanged, there will be disappointment, and it will affect their behavior towards you. You don't want that to happen. Also, listen first, then respond. In other words, you're making the mentee feel that they're being appreciated, you're listening to them, you are actually building this relationship on sound grounds. So understand them, know what they want, know what they need, and then tailor your mentoring accordingly. That is, listen first, respond afterwards. And then also provide opportunities. There are lots of people who would have these mentees, but they do not direct them. They do not put them in the right networks. They do not help them to build further relationships. It's very networking in this age and era we're living in is extremely important. Also get to know your mentee. I said this once, twice, 10 times. It is extremely important. How you get to know them by spending time with them, by listening to them, by all the things that we mentioned before. You get to know them to be able to help them. Now, also, don't tell me that only mentor, 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 and there's no mentee. Also, as a mentee, you have a role to play. You have duties, responsibilities. If you do them, you will get the best out of this relationship with your mentor. So be engaged and show interest. That mentor, by the way, most of the time, those mentors are, most of the time, they're not paid. It's their own time. So you need to, when they are talking, when they are showing you something, when they are sharing their knowledge, you need to genuinely show them you're interested. Even if you don't see eye to eye, even if you're not going to follow what they're saying, it's just out of respect. They are spending time and giving you suggestions and making all this effort. The least you can do as a mentee is show that you are listening to them and you're engaged. The other thing is be active in the relationship, which means also demonstrate that you're adding value. Because this is, after all, it's your professional development. It's for you. You are the one who are mainly going to benefit from it. So you need to show, you need to be engaged, you need to reply, you need to also support with other ideas, you know. When the mentor sometimes suggests something, try to apply it, show that you are serious, things like that. Also practice taking advice and applying it. Not 100% and not all the time. The advice that your mentor is going to give you, you may want to do it, but it is very important that at least give it a thought. If it's applicable for you, if it's going to be beneficial for you and help you focus in whatever you're doing, do listen carefully and apply it. Be respectful of your mentor's time. And lots of people go and unprepared. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know what's happening, what's going on. And then they just rock up and say, here I am, help me. No. You see, one of the things that I give an advice also for my students who are going to do interviews and doing research, exactly the same thing. These people are giving you their time. You have to be prepared before you go there, or else they will think you're not serious. So be respectful of other people's time so that they will be respectable of your time. It's two ways. Okay, activity, no activity, no time. Well, anyway, this is for you to think of your previous experiences and to think of it. Reflection in our field or in any field is extremely important. So I actually urge you always to reflect on things that happened. Reflections and writing it and keeping a diary is one way and means for your professional development and continuous improvement. We learn a lot, especially when we write and come back to it. So think of your experiences before. I mean, if something happened with you when you were mentoring somebody or when you were a mentee, take this as a learning experience and learn from it and write it. So how was this relationship, for example? Because sometimes you would have a mentor that you know about or you don't know about. So how was this relationship? How did it start? How did you get to know this? What did you learn from them? Do you think they learned from you? So you're answering it from your own perspective, from your own point of view, okay? And if this was a positive experience, why do you think it was positive? Please write it down, because when you write these things down, this is going to help you in building your character as a mentor. If it was a negative one, it will also help you to refrain from it. You don't want to subject people to things that you think it's hurtful. We learn from our own actions, we learn from others for observing. There are different ways for us to learn, okay? So suggestions, how you can improve for your future, okay? So these things, you can look at them, some of them. This is mentoring is really, really informal and it happens in our everyday life. Sometimes it passes by us like that and we may not notice it, but it's happening. Okay, so This is also a food for your thought. It's a saying, sometimes when I consider what tremendous consequences come from little things, I am tempted to think there are no little things. Okay, it's a thought-provoking quote. And what I wanted you, if we had, there's no more time, to actually look at it and think, what are the little things that you can do to show your understanding and respect for your mentees' culture. Remember, that goes back to our first icebreaker of the day. What are the little things that you can do to show that you respect their culture, you respect their values, and you consider them? And what are the little things that you can avoid to show your understanding, again, for their culture and values and their concerns? Okay? There are tremendous consequences for these little things that we may sometimes not notice them. They are very important. So I want your final reflections, please. I want you to think of 3 things that you have learned from this session, 3 things that you are intending to apply in your mentoring relationships. And how are you planning to apply them? I think we have another maybe minute or 2. So I would love to hear from you. At least one thing you learned, or one thing you intend to incorporate and use in your practice, please. Okay?
Hello, this
Hi.
is Patricia from Zimbabwe. I learned that about the mentor-mentee relationship, that I should be here and be able to listen to our mentees as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Somebody else would like to share with us, please? Nobody? No takers?
What I learned from you today, but not only from you, is that the communication between the mentor and the mentees is very, very important. And as you said, that the chemistry between mentor and mentees, it's sometimes really very important. It's one of the points of this session today.
That's very
Hello.
important. Yes.
I can speak. I'm Ermina Opican. I learned in this session, wonderful session, that the empathy, active listening, and positive communication are important skills to be a good mentor. These softer skills are even more important than other types of the activity that the mentor chooses to do with the beginning teacher, maybe in my case, because I mentor for students. Thank you so much, Dr. Siham.
Thank you. Thanks for your contributions. Yes? Anybody else? Okay. If there is nobody else, then I would like to share with you my final quotes for this session. These are very nice quotes that I found, and I would like to share with you. If you want to harvest in 1 year, grow a crop. If you want to harvest in 10 years, grow trees. If you want to harvest that will last a lifetime, grow people. And I really believe in that. It's very, very important, our interactions, our relationship with each other, our communication with each other. It's really valuable. There are many reasons I enjoy mentoring. My biggest is the satisfaction I get in seeing someone's goals and interests become reality. This person, William, actually resonated with what I told you earlier. My students' success is actually my reward. It is really very humbling and rewarding. So mentoring is a brain that you pick. It's an ear that you listen, and it's a push in the right direction. And I really, really hope that today I managed to scratch just the surface of that huge and important field in our lives, and to push you in the right direction to continue this workshop for the next 2 days with my esteemed colleagues. I am humbled by your attendance, your participation, and sharing with me your experiences and thoughts and your support. Thank you very, very much, all of you, and God support you, and God bless you wherever you are today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Siham. Indeed, it was a wonderful session, full of activities. Certainly, we do had a time constraint, but you had covered all the modules, like 1, 2, 3, whatever has to be done. Superb session, and I'm sure each one of us is inspired to be a part of this enriching session of the Mentor Development Program, Batch 2 by International Internship University. I express my heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for being the wonderful mentees. Thank you, Dr. Siham, for the wonderful session and for sparing your valuable time. I'm sure by now each one of us know what is the mentee in detail. Dear Corina, our Vice Chancellor, thank you so much for your presence. Ms. Ermina, Ms. Nada, our board members, whoever are here, thank you for motivating us. Dear Piyush sir, words are not sufficient to express my gratitude towards you. You are a true source of inspiration for each one of us. Thank you for bringing a strong support and guiding us in the right direction. Thank you so much once again to everyone. Stay tuned, stay connected. See you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. IST to know more about the mentor. Till then, be safe. Bye. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.